Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt like something had shifted, even though no one said a word? That's not just your imagination. You carry something with you that shows up even before you do. Your energy, your aura, this invisible field that radiates simply because you exist. Your presence has its own weight, its own vibe, and it often enters the space before your voice ever does. Carl Jung once described the self as the center where ego and essence meet. When you're truly in alignment, people can feel it, sometimes so strongly it makes them uncomfortable. Some are drawn to it like a magnet, while others feel uneasy, because your light might shine on parts of themselves they'd rather keep hidden. Throughout history, myths and traditions have talked about people whose energy seemed bigger than life. The shaman, whose arrival could lift or sink an entire village's spirit. The calm figure who settles disputes just by being there. Or that one person who steps into a room and, for a second, everything just stops. What these people have in common is an inner harmony that naturally pours outward. A kind of energy that changes the whole atmosphere without trying to. Their aura doesn't hide. In this video, we're diving into the 13 signs that your aura might be so powerful it makes people a little uneasy. Stick around until the end, because you're not just going to recognize these signs, you'll start to see your own strength in a whole new light. You'll realize that what sets you apart isn't something to fix. It's exactly what makes you magnetic. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, now's a great time. The first sign? Your presence sticks with people. Some folks come and go from our memory like they were never there, but then there are those rare ones. The ones you can't quite forget, even if you barely spoke to them or hardly know anything about them. It's not something you see, it's something you feel. People might say, there's just something about them, and that something is the subtle density of your energy. The perfect match between who you are inside and what you naturally give off. The body arrives second. Your spirit was already in the room. Carl Jung believed the psyche isn't limited by the skin and bones we walk around in. We're more than just our thoughts and our bodies. We are presence. And that presence is shaped by everything we've lived, learned, and embodied. The more authentic you become, the more refined your energy gets, and the more unforgettable you are without even trying. It's a quiet but undeniable force, like a scent that no one can see but everyone senses, stirring memories, triggering emotions, calming, or stirring the soul. That lingering feeling you leave behind is the mark of your inner consistency. But don't confuse consistency with being rigid. It's not about being stuck. It's about your thoughts, feelings, and actions lining up beautifully. That's what creates a one-of-a-kind energy, a personal frequency that doesn't just fade away. Don't waste time trying to explain yourself or dim your shine. You weren't built to blend into the background. If you've ever felt out of place, it's probably because your energy shows up first, and not everyone knows how to handle it. They might resist it, project onto you, or be fascinated by you, but they rarely see the whole you right away. Now, on to the second sign that your aura is incredibly powerful. People either feel uplifted or threatened just by being around you. Your presence isn't neutral. It stirs things up, opens people up, challenges them, because your energy touches parts of them that they've hidden away or locked up tight. You reach into deep psychological layers without even needing to speak. Carl Jung talked about the shadow. all the parts of ourselves we've suppressed, denied, or forgotten just to fit in. That shadow doesn't disappear. It lives in the unconscious and reacts when triggered. So when you show up with your clear, intense, and real energy, it can feel threatening. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're embodying something they can't easily access within themselves. Truth can be terrifying when someone's still clinging to their masks. People who are wrestling with inner conflicts might start projecting onto you, seeing in you what they're not ready to face in themselves. You could end up being a mirror for all those unspoken dreams, buried strengths, or old wounds. And sometimes that shows up as irritation, random dislike, or even hostility without any real reason. But there's another side to it. Your energy, being so expansive and alive, can also act like a key that unlocks something in others. For those who are ready, your presence feels like an opening. They feel braver, more connected, even a little freer, just by being near you. Your energy is steady. What shifts is where the other person is in their journey. You often become a catalyst, a living reminder that there's more. More awareness, more wholeness, more truth waiting inside. Not everybody is ready for that, though. Some will pull away. Others will move closer, as if they found something they didn't even know they were missing. That's just how your aura works. It stretches the space around you, and people react according to what's already inside them. Some folks make the world feel bigger just by showing up. Others scare people, not because they intend to, but because they reveal what's still hidden. Now for the third sign that your aura is seriously strong. Animals, kids, and even nature itself seem to recognize and respect you. Your aura, this energetic field you radiate, taps straight into the instinctual world. And that's where animals come in. They aren't fooled by words or appearances. They read energy. They don't care about your title, your outfit, or your tone. They sense what's underneath, your intentions, your emotional vibe, your internal state. A dog knows if you're anxious, even if you're smiling. They pick up on fear, love, tension, peace, all without a single word. That's because their communication is subtle, silent, and deeply energetic. When your aura is clear, grounded, and aligned, animals trust you. They naturally come closer because they feel safe with you. It's a kind of primal awareness that goes way beyond the logical mind. Kids and nature itself operate in this space too. They're connected to what Jung called the living unconscious, a realm that understands vibration, symbols, and archetypes, not explanations. They recognize what's real because it resonates at a level deeper than words. When your aura is awake and alive, they pick up on it immediately. A dog, a cat, even a wild animal might sit calmly near you, sensing the silent truth you carry. It's like nature has taught them to see, not with their eyes, but with their whole being. They don't see your role or your story. They see your true energy field. And it goes both ways. If there's chaos inside you, hidden tension, unresolved emotions, animals feel that too. They might back off, bark, become wary, or just stay away. It's not about you being bad. It's pure energetic reading. In nature's language, real strength doesn't need to shout. It stands steady and speaks through its calm. Animals tend to naturally connect with those who carry this quiet kind of power, a steady strength that doesn't need to be loud or aggressive. It shows how your aura acts like a bridge, translating your presence into a language way beyond words. A language animals understand perfectly. The bond between your aura And children is just as deep, just as instinctive. And honestly, it feels almost magical. Not in a fantasy sense, but in the purest sense of perception. Kids don't filter through logic or social rules the way adults do. They pick up on energy. What's really there, not just what's being said. Even before they fully understand language, they feel the meaning behind a glance, a tone, a presence. An unsettled aura can make them restless, but a centered, real, welcoming aura can calm them instantly. When your energy is clear, true, and connected, kids naturally trust you. And the best part? You don't have to force it or perform. It just requires you to show up as yourself. The instinctive world, animals, kids, nature itself, responds to that with a kind of purity most adults have long forgotten. Now, on to the fourth sign that your aura is powerful enough to unsettle people. You intimidate others without even trying. You walk into a room with a calm heart, a steady gaze, no need to prove anything. And yet, you can feel the tension rising around you. People stiffen up, voices tighten, smiles seem forced, like your very presence set off an invisible alarm. At first, this can be a tough thing to deal with, especially if you're someone who values kindness and tries to avoid coming off as arrogant. But here's the thing. It's not about what you do. It's about what you are. Jung talked about the persona, the social mask we wear to fit in. The more attached someone is to that mask, the more fragile they feel when faced with real authenticity. You're not playing any games. You're just being yourself. And for some, that's too much. Your truth shakes their illusions, and even without saying a word, it can feel threatening. People might project all kinds of things onto you, inventing stories, accusing you of arrogance when really you're just standing in your truth. They might mistake your quiet for judgment, your groundedness for coldness, your clarity for being harsh. But that has more to do with them than with you. You carry a rare energy of inner alignment, and that naturally confronts the places in others where things don't quite add up. Just by existing, you send out a silent message. It's possible to live without masks. And for those who've built their lives around roles and expectations, that's a deeply unsettling idea. You don't need to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. That would only be a subtle betrayal of who you are. Some people will be drawn to your steady strength and find it inspiring. Others will pull away, but that's their journey, not yours. Yes, you might intimidate people, but not because you want to dominate. You intimidate because your presence reveals things they've tried hard not to see. When someone has only known absence, real presence can feel like a threat. And now the fifth sign, your aura is incredibly strong. You change the energy of a space just by walking into it. Sometimes you'll notice it. Sometimes you won't. But it's happening. And it's not because you're trying to make a big splash. It's not about grabbing attention at all. It's a quiet kind of power that doesn't need an audience. You simply enter a room and something shifts. People sit up a little straighter. Some might lower their gaze. Conversations pause. The whole atmosphere recalibrates emotionally, even if no one can quite explain why. This isn't about controlling anything. It's about your field. Barbara Brennan, a scientist and energy healer who wrote Hands of Light, explains that the human energy field stretches way beyond the physical body. According to her, your aura radiates outward in all directions, constantly interacting with everything around you. other people, places, even the emotional atmosphere, whether you're aware of it or not. Brennan says this energy field carries all kinds of subtle information. Who you are, what you're feeling, even what you've been through. That's why, when your energy is clear, aligned, and authentic, it naturally organizes the space around you. Not because you're trying to make something happen, but just because you are. Carl Jung talked about something similar: symbolic presence, the idea that your very being sends signals that activate other people's unconscious minds. That's exactly what's happening when you walk into a room. Your energy carries symbols, archetypes, and messages that connect with dormant parts of the space and the people in it. You represent something, even if you're not trying to. And that representation stirs things up. Some people call it strong presence, but it's not about force or domination. It's about vibrational coherence. When your energy is coherent, it naturally creates resonance. It organizes, it shakes things up, it transforms. You might not always notice it, but the field around you absolutely feels it. Wherever you go, something shifts, even if everything looks the same on the surface. Your aura doesn't need a spotlight. It works quietly, invisibly. And nothing stays quite the same once you've been there. Now for the sixth sign that your aura is too powerful to ignore. Your intuition picks up on spaces and people effortlessly. This isn't fortune-telling or some mystical party trick. It's a real deep sensitivity, a kind of silent knowing that happens way before your mind even gets involved. But it's almost shockingly accurate. You can walk into a room and instantly sense that something's off, even if everything seems perfectly normal on the outside. You know when someone's uncomfortable, even if they're smiling and laughing. You feel the tension in the air, even when the vibe seems calm. It's like your whole body is tuned in, like your skin is breathing the emotional atmosphere, decoding the invisible messages. That's intuition. And when your aura is clear and wide open, it becomes this incredibly fine-tuned antenna, picking up frequencies, subtle shifts, vibrations, and translating them into a deep knowing. Jung said, "The unconscious speaks through symbols, emotions, and sensations." That's exactly how intuition works. It's the voice of the self. It doesn't shout. It doesn't explain. It just shows. That's why you can feel when energy isn't aligned. You know when someone's faking it. You can tell if a space feels heavy, light, manipulative, or safe, without needing a single piece of evidence. No reports, no context, just a deep inner knowing. Sometimes, it's uncomfortable because you know the truth before it shows up in words or actions. You might try to second-guess yourself, to tell yourself you're overreacting. But deep down, you already know. Your aura reads. Your body reads. The language is vibrational, and even when you wish you couldn't, you translate it. Sometimes it protects you. Sometimes it overwhelms you. There are days when you don't want to feel so much, to know so much, but you do. It's not a flaw. It's an awakened sensitivity, a symbolic perception of reality. You see beyond appearances. You feel the layers. In today's world, that's rare, and it's powerful. Intuition isn't something you can teach, but you can nurture it. And the more connected you stay to your own truth, the clearer the whole world around you becomes. Now, here's the seventh sign that your aura is seriously powerful. Superficial conversations exhaust you. You've tried. You've smiled. You've nodded. You've played along, chatting about the weather, about surface-level things, about whatever was expected of you. And yet inside, something in you resists it. It's like your energy field has a built-in radar that resists anything without real substance. Your aura can instantly tell when someone is really present and when they're just stacking words to fill the silence. You feel it in your body. Your energy drops. Your chest tightens. Your mind drifts away. Something inside you quietly pulls back, almost whispering, "There's nothing real here for me." And honestly, there isn't. You weren't made to wear social masks. Your very presence demands real presence from others, and that can unsettle people because it calls for surrender, for real listening, real connection. It's not about always talking about deep, heavy topics. It's about authenticity, about genuine exchange. Jung taught that we become whole by integrating the unconscious. Superficiality is the opposite of that. It avoids the real stuff, keeps everything on the surface, and clings to roles instead of truth. Without trying, you point people toward the center, toward what's real, just by being yourself. But there's a side effect to this kind of presence: loneliness. The world is loud with voices, but starving for real connection. When you start craving true presence, even in silence, your crowd naturally gets smaller. You have fewer conversations, but they're deeper. Fewer people around you, but with more soul. Loneliness, then, isn't about emptiness anymore. It becomes a filter, a clean, quiet space where you don't have to shrink yourself to fit in. Now, the eighth sign that your aura is seriously powerful. You become a screen for other people's projections. The more aligned and integrated your energy is, the more it stirs up the stuff others have hidden away. You don't have to say a thing. Just showing up can trigger exaggerated reactions, idealizing you, criticizing you for no clear reason, or pulling away in silence. Like we mentioned earlier, the shadow, all the parts we've rejected, denied, or buried to fit in, is a big deal in Jung's psychology. And when you walk around embodying your truth, it naturally unsettles those who are still hiding theirs. Your presence reveals what someone else is trying hard not to face. Your aura acts like a mirror, and honestly, not everyone's ready to see their reflection. It's not you. It's something happening through you. That's why it's so important to know what's truly yours and what's being projected onto you. Not so you can defend yourself, but so you don't lose yourself. When you become a projection screen, it's not a punishment. It's a sign that you carry light. And wherever light shows up, it naturally reveals the shadows too. And now, for the ninth sign, your silence speaks louder than your words. Silence, when it's conscious, is a powerful kind of energetic holding. It's not about shutting down. It's about preserving your energy instead of spilling it into empty conversations, pointless explanations, or people-pleasing. In that quiet, something rare happens. True presence fills the room. When someone shows up and changes the entire vibe without even saying a word, that's real power. This kind of energy doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to justify itself. It just is. And people feel it. They may not understand why, but they do. People with strong auras know they don't need to explain themselves constantly. They understand that silence can carry more meaning than 1,000 perfectly crafted sentences. Conscious silence shows deep self-trust. It shows you're comfortable with yourself, that you don't need to perform or fill space just to prove you're worthy. Your energy already says everything. Sure, loud people might grab attention, but lasting impact? That belongs to the ones whose presence makes others feel something real, not the ones who say too much. Used wisely, your silence becomes an extension of your vibration, and vibration doesn't lie. In the end, one of the strongest markers of a powerful aura is the ability to change a room, not by talking, but just by being. The 10th sign that your aura is powerful is this: people feel safe spilling their hearts out to you. You've probably seen it happen. Someone you barely know suddenly starts sharing childhood memories, old wounds, deep fears, maybe even tears, all in the middle of what started as casual small talk. It's like you open up a space without even trying, a safe, invisible field where people instinctively feel like they can drop their masks, even just for a few minutes. Not because you pry, not because you ask, but because you hold. You hold their silence, their awkwardness, their pain, without trying to fix it. Your aura doesn't offer pity. It offers presence. And that's rare. Jung said that the unconscious is always looking for a way to express itself. And when it finds someone who can hold that space without judgment, without expectation, it pours out. Sometimes it pours out a lot. You are that someone. You're the person who can listen with your whole body, who can be there without needing to fix, advise, or analyze. You offer a kind of listening that's about real connection, not solutions. People don't always realize what's happening until afterward. They suddenly notice how much they've said and look at you, maybe a little embarrassed. But it's not exposure. It's relief. Your presence gives people the gift of space. And today, real space is healing. You don't force vulnerability. You allow it. You don't drag the truth out of anyone. You invite it gently. Only someone who's made peace with their own shadow can hold someone else's without falling apart. Don't be surprised if strangers tell you things they've told no one else, or if your friends say they feel different when they're with you. The reason is energetic, psychic, unconscious. You are a living vessel for truth, and only those deeply rooted within themselves can carry what others no longer know how to hold. Now, for the 11th sign, your freedom irritates the ones who are still hiding. Real freedom makes noise without even opening its mouth. Your authenticity doesn't need to be loud or aggressive. It just is. And that alone can be too much for people who are still clinging to their masks. Your openness, your ability to live without asking permission, becomes an unspoken mirror. It silently asks the people around you, are you going to keep pretending? In a world that often rewards obedience and conformity, being truly free is a radical act. Your lightness reminds others of the chains they're still carrying. Your courage shines a light on the places where they chose comfort over truth. That's why you disturb people, not because you're trying to, but because your energy confronts them without even touching them. You irritate without hurting. You simply exist. And that alone challenges anyone who hasn't given themselves full permission to live. People with a strong aura don't need to convince anyone of anything. They don't have to shout or prove a point. They just live. And sometimes that's revolutionary enough. And now the 12th sign. You leave a mark even after you've left. Have you ever walked away from a place, but somehow you're still there? That's exactly what happens when your aura carries real weight. People feel your absence. The silence you leave behind echoes. It's not just missing someone. It's an energetic imprint. Your presence lingers. The energy you brought stays behind, holding sensations, lessons, sometimes even discomfort. When you go, you leave something real, and that can't be bought, staged, or faked. It's just the natural effect of being truly present. Some people are forgotten, even while they're still in the room. Others are remembered long after they've gone, because when they were there, they were truly there. You were there, and a part of you still remains. The final sign that your aura is so powerful it can unsettle others is this. Your inner journey is what shaped the energy you radiate today. What people feel in you, that steadiness, that peace, that quiet light, it didn't come from books, or clever quotes, or surface-level positivity. It came from walking through long, dark nights of the soul, from lonely new beginnings, from symbolic deaths, moments where parts of you had to die so that something more honest, more real, could be born. A lot of people talk about aura like it's some magical glow you're just born with. But the truth? What really shines through you is what you've burned clean inside yourself. An aura isn't something you inherit. It's something you forge through pain, through truth, through refusing to betray your own heart. You aren't light because you've never faced darkness. You're light because you faced it and you kept going. The strength that unsettles, attracts, and moves people doesn't come from the surface. It comes from deep within, from the battles you fought silently inside yourself. You've seen yourself at your weakest, your ugliest, your most lost, and you chose to return whole. Today, your aura speaks for you before you even open your mouth. But it's not bragging. It's not about power. It's about your process, your courage, the beauty that happens when someone stops running from who they really are. People call it charisma, magnetism, special energy. But what they're really feeling is this: embodied truth, the soul of someone who walked through fire and didn't burn out. You're not pretending anymore. You simply are. And that changes everything around you. If you've read this far, you already know. This isn't about thinking you're better than others. It's about being more awake. The signs we've talked about aren't trophies. They're not spiritual titles. They're mirrors, reflecting an inner journey that's often been quiet, painful, and deeply personal. Your presence has weight, not because you're chasing attention, but because you simply don't fit into the ordinary anymore. Your energy disturbs people because it mirrors back to them what they haven't dealt with, the things they've hidden, the parts they've ignored. You don't do it on purpose. You simply exist. And that alone activates something. It stirs. It transforms. Your aura is your soul's signature. It's not something you can fake or control. It's the invisible trace of how deeply you're aligned with yourself. The more you stay true inside, the stronger and more undeniable your field becomes. Yes, you will be misunderstood. Yes, people will project their fears and insecurities onto you. But that's the path of those who live for truth, not approval. It's the cost of being whole. So don't pull back. Don't dim your light just because it blinds people who aren't ready to see. Don't slow down your pace to accommodate those who haven't even started their journey yet. Don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that can't contain the person you've become. Your presence is a reminder, a mirror, a silent invitation for others to wake up to. As Carl Jung said, the collective unconscious reacts to anything it hasn't yet made peace with. You're part of that reaction. You're one of the few, and you're not here to please. You're here to live truthfully, own your energy, honor the fire you carry inside. and never apologize for being whole. Because in the end, your aura isn't really about you. It's about what you awaken in the world simply by being. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can keep getting more content like this, helping you to understand and strengthen your energy. And if you've stayed with us all the way to the end, I'd love to hear from you. Who feels their own presence? Drop a comment below and write, "My aura speaks before me." That will be our silent recognition, our secret handshake for those who know. See you in the next video.